This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But if
folks?
rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get like the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions. And I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 107. I'm Brian.
I am Spencer.
Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at the Our Take Pod, and of course at theourtakepodcast.com where you can watch all these episodes now.
I want to start things off with some bad news.
Okay.
Lady Gaga's dogs have been returned to her. So if you were counting on that $500,000 reward for all your financial woes like I was,
Did somebody collect it?
I don't know. It's
Or were they just like dropped off at a fire station? Like a...
well, if you had them, you'd return them. Like, even if you were the one that shot the guy, you'd still be like, no, I didn't do that,
Yeah.
man. I found him running
Right.
around.
It's like Ransom, like the
Yeah.
movie Ransom.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened.
Oh, so someone, a dog walker, because, celebrities are too lazy to walk their own dogs because they're so
dangerous.
busy.
The paparazzos, man.
Yeah, whatever. So somebody shot her dog walker and stole 2 of the dogs.
That's bananas.
Yeah, I mean,
Did he
they
die?
didn't kill the guy, and he's gonna be all right. But
Did they know they were her dogs?
I don't know. I don't know that it has said that anywhere. But she offered a $500,000 reward, no questions asked, which to me is like, well, you may not ask any questions, but the police are gonna,
I bet you
and the dog walker might have some questions too.
this was a ransom. That was part of the deal.
Probably.
She was contacted, said, "Give me $500,000, I'll give you dogs back, but here's how you're going to do it. You're going to say, reward, no questions asked." It's the perfect crime.
I guess.
I mean, you didn't really have to shoot the guy. You probably could have just taken the dogs.
Yeah, I could have just tased him,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, or chloroformed him or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Chloroform.
This day in history?
Yeah, it is January. No, it's not. It's February 27th.
Yeah, we've been gone a minute because of COVID scares and
Yeah.
whatnot.
2021, February 27th. On this day in history, though, in 1933, Germany's parliament building is set en fuego.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, set on fire. An arson attack on the Reichstag building, home of German parliament, on Monday, February 27th,
Yeah.
1933. 4 weeks after Adolf Hitler was sworn in as chancellor.
Adolf? Is that?
Yeah,
Is that?
that's how I say it. In Berlin, Hitler's government stated that Marinus van der Lubbe, a Dutch council communist,
Inventor
was the
of
culprit.
the Astroglide.
Right. Let's see. The Nazi Party used the fire as a pretext to claim that communists were plotting against the German government, even though Mr. Lube actually just did it by himself.
Kind of like they tried to do here when they were like, no, it was Antifa,
Yeah,
disguised as.
It just every episode
Ugh.
is just more and more eerily similar to the Circle of Evil. It's just
I know.
just right
I
there.
know.
Yeah, this
Got security up till March 4th because that's the second coming of Jesus or Trump.
he's still there, right? He's still there, according to Q. But except
no,
that
he's making his second coming on the 5th or 4th.
okay, but he put up a wall around the White House. There's a wall around the White House now.
Yeah, of course.
There hasn't always been.
Well, Biden was like,
No, Biden didn't. Trump did.
oh,
When Black Lives Matter was protesting, they put up a big wall, like a 10-foot wall.
oh, really?
You used to be able to go right up to the not right up, but this the
Yeah.
black gate, like the
Well,
yeah.
I don't know then. Maybe
I hope they take it down. But now they're talking about putting a
Well-
big fence around the Capitol.
I mean, our senator, our favorite senator here,
Michael Lee.
Mike Lee, gave a big resounding tear down this wall speech the other day in regards to all the structures that are still up from the inauguration because they're keeping them up till after, Q's second coming theory.
Yeah. When you're seeing the chatter,
Which makes me wonder, like, why does Mike Lee want them to come down? Like,
he's Q.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
he's Q. Have you seen? So CPAC's going on right now.
yeah, they're golden idol to Trump.
Yes. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
It's a calf. It's basically a golden calf.
Yeah,
Like
these people,
they may as well
man.
be Israelites in the desert.
Well, these people don't know much about Jewish history, so
It's also Christian history is the funny thing.
well,
like,
yeah.
it's right there. It's in the Old Testament.
They're a little fuzzy on the Old Testament. They
Literally,
prefer the new.
We got to find a picture of it. It's just, I mean, I'm sure people have seen it, but Trump
It's not very flattering of Trump either.
golden statue. Let's see here.
If it wasn't gold, I'd think they were mocking him.
Right? I did see some comments on TikTok like, how do you know this isn't a gag? Because no one would go to these lengths to make it look even remotely good. But here you go. There's the golden statue. He's got
Looks like a Mario Kart character.
he's got like Apollo Creed trunks on. He's got a magic wand, like a Glinda, the Good Witch of the North. Magic wand and a
What the hell?
and then a
This
constitution.
has to be a Borat, right? This has to be some kind of a Borat.
Freaking Sasha's gonna come busting out of that.
I know. Like, how is this not some kind of a Borat?
Right. I don't know.
The
magic
wand. The wand is what really is like. Is that Q thing? Is that how he's going to do his second coming?
I don't know. I saw these videos of them wheeling it in, and I was like, please tip over. That would be, it would just be
Well,
so
I'm sure
great.
it's full of chocolate. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, man. It's weird. I mean, we've said that all along, though. The flags, the
well,
decorations.
CPAC is a weird event. You also had
That's true.
what's his Josh Hawley? Is that his?
Dude, Ted Cruz. Did you see his stand-up comedian?
No.
His stand-up act?
I just heard Josh Hawley say, I contested the results on January 6th. You might remember that. And everyone was laughing like, yeah,
that was
American,
hilarious.
Americans died and storming of the Capitol,
Yeah.
unprecedented attack on our democracy. But that's hilarious, Josh Hawley.
Speaking,
Maybe go,
fuck yourself. Yeah, I got you. Speaking of Josh Hawley,
yeah.
I'll come back to Ted in a minute, but I made what I consider a hilarious TikTok video,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and it got taken down 3
We've had
times.
a lot of stuff gotten taken down
Yeah.
lately.
I was basically, was using a clip of Josh Hawley and saying that he was masturbating, and he said that's outrageous. It was really funny.
It was.
TikTok took it down 3 times, even after I put beeps in over the word masturbating.
Really?
I mean,
I didn't know TikTok was in the pocket of the Republican Party.
I mean, some of the shit I've seen on TikTok,
Yeah.
that's pretty loose. Like,
Yeah.
you can't say masturbating.
I guess that's just like their one.
Maybe they took it down just because it was a picture of Josh Hawley. Maybe we could go that way
Maybe.
and claim they were doing the right thing.
Maybe.
And YouTube got mad at us about the Proud Boys, Sebastian
yeah,
Gorka.
No, that was Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, not YouTube, yeah.
And it's not. I don't know. They said that it was too political or something, and then they won't let us post. No, they won't let me do an ad for the writings on the wall because it's too political.
Oh, by the way, the writings on the wall, we just released a music video by our band Rejected Takeoff.
Yeah.
And they won't let you boost it on
Right.
Facebook
Right. The ad got rejected
because it has stock footage of the Capitol and
No,
the, like,
no, it's not. It's just I guess it's because it's political overtones or.
it means someone actually listened to the song.
Oh, guess they didn't like it.
Right.
I hope whoever it was like, man, I like this jam, but
Yeah.
dang, I gotta.
But yeah, you guys should check out that music video. It's pretty rad.
Yeah,
Spencer produced and
we,
directed, and
we did a pretty good job, I think.
you did. I mean,
No, it was everybody.
I
It was
didn't
everybody.
really do anything.
Speaking of jobs,
Yeah.
well, what you had something about Ted?
Well, CPAC.
Yeah.
He essentially did a stand-up bit. His opening line, I think, was, "I love it here in Orlando. It's not as nice as Cancun."
What a dumbass.
He got booed by a couple people.
That's because he's not fun. He's the guy that you knew growing up, that just tries to fit in with everybody,
Right.
right? And they'll say like if if he notices someone drinks Diet Coke, the next party he'll bring like 3 cases of Diet Coke, and everyone will be like, Bill, what the hell?
Yeah.
No one even likes
No
this.
one likes this.
No one
There was-
likes you.
There was one guy here last time.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's just that guy who's always never been able to fit in and just
Yeah. Search for his stand-up bit or set basically.
what is this as good as Lindsey Graham's
I doubt it. But
from
listen, he did yell. He ended his speech by yelling, in the words of William Wallace, freedom. Yelling it. Freedom! Like
like
Ted Cruz was screaming it into
like
a microphone.
Braveheart.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. He made fun of AOC because she says that he
Because
almost
she's
got her murdered.
attractive and people want to
Smarter
have
than him.
relations with her, but
Yeah.
people look at Ted Cruz and literally want to vomit. Or
I guess, man. How about his wife's neighbors just totally selling her
But
out?
just because I've heard many times that most of Congress does not like Ted Cruz as a person, right? So that just leads me to believe that all their friends, quote unquote friends, also don't like them
Right.
as people.
Like one of his wife's friends leaked messages that she sent.
Oh, that's so funny.
And did you hear about the Senate? I don't condone bullying.
I don't know, man.
In the locker room, they made memes of Ted walking with his suitcase towards Bernie with the mittens
Uh
and taped them to the lockers in the Senate locker room. Like memes like all around the locker room. Somebody did it. The only people who have access are current and former senators. So
That's awesome. I
I-
hope it was AOC. It
I-
probably was.
I think it was Bernie. Who knows, man? It's weird.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, speaking of jobs,
Yeah.
I got to do something really cool on Monday last week. What day is today?
It's Saturday.
Whatever week it was. I got to go to another building that we have that has simulators in it, full on motion simulators. I don't know if
Ooh.
you've ever seen the big, huge ones
Yeah.
that move with you and
Like Back to the Future, the ride at Universal Studios, like where it moves to make you feel.
yeah, except for your
You're
control
controlling it.
inputs. Yeah.
Right.
And it's just like a regular cockpit, and it was super fun. And
How much time did you spend in there?
I just did a takeoff and a landing,
Right
so
on.
like 30 minutes probably, and I did better than I thought I would. I landed okay.
Wouldn't it be cool if someone was watching, and they're like, "You want a job?"
Yeah, but
You know,
that
it'd be like a movie.
I mean, there were people with me that were like, "Oh, you're doing pretty good, man."
Yeah.
I mean, most of the people know that I do have a experience, not
right.
flying a jet, but it was similar, not
It w-
eerily, but it was similar feeling to the small plane, except everything just happens a lot faster.
Right. But it'd be a cool movie. It's like a meet cute. You know, some instructor's walking by, sees the monitor.
Yeah, I mean, that's all fine and good, but it's like, hey, you should join us, and I'm gonna pay for all of it.
Right.
That's the key
Right.
thing. I mean,
Yeah, that's cool.
I've had plenty of, well, not plenty of, but I have had people there that are like, why don't you just go fly again? I'm like, you know how much I get paid here.
Right. I've always wanted to do like the NASA, like an Apollo simulator,
Yeah.
where they were pulling the lem out of the.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
You can do the Elon Musk one.
Does he have a sim online?
Yeah, we've talked about it on here.
Oh.
He has the SpaceX docking at the ISS, and it's got
yeah.
all the real controls, and
That's
it's
right.
freaking hard
We looked it up.
Yeah.
it was
because there's no up or down, and there's so many different
intense. Right. You got a gimbal.
directions you can go. It's very confusing.
Right. And you'll get into. I only know this because of the movie Apollo 13. You get into gimbal lock, where all your planes are at the same. You can't get out of it.
Dang.
I don't know how it
Hopefully
works.
they've compensated for that.
I would think it'd be automated at this point with Elon. Like
Probably
he can take my car from my home to work
to Mars.
to Mars, but you can't dock to the space station. Like seems easier.
Well, actually, I don't know that it is. I think they still. I don't know. I do wonder that kind of stuff because you hear about them flying it by hand. I'm like, why?
Maybe
Surely we have the technology to just lock on and take care of it
Right.
itself, right? I mean, we have airplanes that can land themselves.
Here's
and
something I've always thought about too. Like they're always like, trying to get a probe hooked into a hole, right?
Yeah.
Why not just send like a cable out and grab on and pull that part in? It'd be less dangerous,
I don't know.
wouldn't it?
You think?
Because if you miss with the traditional way, you can really mess things up.
Right.
But if you were just to send a cable out, like an arm,
It does make a lot of sense.
and they have an arm on the space station.
Although I think with no gravity, it pulls you in, but it's not gonna. You're still gonna have to correct for. It's not gonna.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
But
you still have
just
to
a
make,
little like a
but
harpoon.
yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like you could pull it in.
I see what you're saying. So last time on the same subject here, last time we talked a little bit about fly-by-wire,
Yeah.
and how most planes don't use cables and pulleys anymore. They use just wires that give you the
That transmit a signal.
right.
They're not physically doing anything.
Right.
Right.
And it turns out here that the history of this goes all the way back to 1930, when the Soviets were using servos and electrical signals to control whatever this is. Oh,
In
it's
the-
a big plane.
In the 30s.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it really it started here. The first pure electronic fly-by-wire aircraft with no mechanical or hydraulic backup was the Apollo lunar landing training vehicle.
Dude, that thing's intense. The one that Neil.
I'm guessing it's the one that Neil exploded.
Yeah. It looks like a.
Right.
I don't know how. There had to be a better way to simulate that,
I don't know.
like than with jet fuel.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like they could have put it on a wire, on a cable, because they got to simulate gravity, like moon gravity.
Right.
It's tough.
It is.
Speaking of which, have you watched For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus?
Oh. No, I
It-
have heard about it though. I just
Yeah.
don't have Apple TV because I have everything else.
It takes. I love space and I love the moon.
I've been watching a space show as well called The Expanse. It has Mormons in it.
All right.
It's weird.
So from For All Mankind, it basically takes the Apollo,
Uh-huh.
starts at Apollo time period,
Right.
but then tweaks history for the show.
Right.
Like the Russians land on the moon first
Right.
in the show.
I don't know why, but I've always had a hard time with those. Like, there's one where Germany wins World War II. I can't remember what it's called. And I start watching it. I'm like,
It's called The End.
this isn't what happened. This is bullcrap.
But it leads to like this cool thing where they have a moon base.
right. It's
know.
like the space race never stops.
Never stops,
Is what I
right.
have been told it's like. So
Yeah, it's cool.
I do want to start watching. I've been watching The Expanse on Amazon Prime, and it's like the 24th century, and the solar system is colonized essentially, and
Solar system.
yeah, just the solar system. They
Wow.
haven't gone out. They can't. They're still below light speed, so it's not like you can really go that far.
I mean, but we can only really land, so to speak, on like 3 other planets, right?
Well, Mars is colonized, and then a couple of Jupiter's moons are
Oh, of course,
colonized,
right.
and
So we actually can't, even if their gravity was an issue
Right.
for Jupiter, it's gas.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's Jupiter's moons.
Right.
Because they're actually, some of them are relatively habitable,
Right.
and Venus-ish. Venus or Mercury. One of them's pretty habitable.
Venus reminds me of,
The word penis. Yeah.
yeah, and on the Matrix when Morpheus takes Neo to the real world
Mm,
and
yeah.
the sky's like torched.
Yeah. I haven't seen The Matrix. I know. Yeah. I know. I just haven't. All right.
Wait,
I just haven't seen it.
are you wait, I can't tell if you're joking.
I'm serious. I don't know. I never saw it, and it was one of those movies when I was my
gotta-
mom. Remember, my mom's like a Shiite Mormon, and so there was a lot of things I didn't get to watch.
PG-13.
What do you not understand about Shiite?
We got to stop the show.
I don't want to watch it right now.
It's
I'll watch it before the next one
it's
comes
so
out.
good. The first Matrix is
Yeah,
amazing.
I know. I just haven't seen it.
Holy shit.
I also realized recently that I'm not a big movie person. That I prefer TV shows,
Yeah, that's true about you.
but
And I prefer movies.
because I like the longevity of it all. Because I don't pay that much attention.
See, not me. I just want to just get in, get out. Just
Yeah. I just like to take it slow, like 2 years,
Well, you
2.5
know-
years slow,
It's
and
but that's why, and I think I'm like most people, and
Uh-huh.
you're not,
well, that's for sure.
because I think that's why TV shows like The Sopranos and Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. That's why these are popular, because they're like a movie. The plot is,
A lot of shows are now.
but then there's the classic TV show like Law and Order, where every episode's the same. There's no moving plot.
That is really that is how TV shows are made now. I mean, they're they were episodic, now they're
Monosodic.
I can't remember, but yeah. And with like the new Star Trek TV shows, it's been a lot of people's complaints, 'cause
They want it episodic again.
yeah, and I guess one of the new ones is going to be like that, but I mean, it's basically, 10 episodes of one story,
Right.
which is fine. It's good, but it's also interesting to do those different. But you know what's crazy
It's
is
to be continued. They got rid of the to be continued.
yeah, pretty much.
Now it's just.
But
it's
what
just
is
assumed.
nice though is that most of these stories mostly wrap up what was happening at the end of the season.
Sure.
So you're not like, seriously?
Right.
But there's still some that don't. But what's crazy? You know what's crazy is, so now for Star Trek they do like 10 episodes. They're an hour long, and they release it once a year. Back in the 80s and 90s, they did 26 episodes a season, an hour long.
That's crazy.
Right?
So we're getting screwed.
Well, I mean, that's just how TV is now. Oh, Johnson & Johnson got approved.
I just saw that. We got a third vaccine coming out.
Thank goodness, 'cause I want that one.
That's the one you want?
Well, yeah, it's only one. That was so I'm eligible, I found out,
Right.
on the 1st of March. And actually, I found out today that I'm eligible now, and I have been
Really?
in Weber, in our county.
What
That's why I sent you that message, 'cause I just found out today that
What county were you checking?
I wasn't. I
Oh.
was just looking at the,
The state,
overall
yeah.
guidelines. I didn't know that it varied by county.
Varies by county, yeah.
And so because I am so fat, I have a special medical condition that
Right.
allows me to qualify. So I signed up today,
Very good.
and I don't know.
I don't think you get to choose, though, do you?
No, not. I mean, yes and no. I mean, you can choose your location. Like
Oh, okay.
like I was looking at it, and it's, you can choose the health department, and it is using Pfizer, I think. But then you could also choose to go to Smith's, and it says we're using the Moderna,
right.
or Fresh Market is using this. So I would imagine that most of those pharmacies are all going to switch to Johnson & Johnson because of how easy
It's
it
one
is
shot.
to you don't have to refrigerate it in that crazy.
Right. It's just not as effective on extreme cases, right? Like
No,
severe
it's
cases.
it's mostly effective on extreme cases.
Okay.
That's where it's the best at.
So, by the way, speaking of grocery stores,
Yeah.
my brother found a dude on Reddit
Yeah.
who's in Utah
Uh-huh.
who went to a Harmon's
Oh.
pharmacy
Uh-huh.
and said, I understand that when you guys pop a vial, you got to use them all. Can I get on the list, essentially, if people who were scheduled don't show up
Uh-huh.
before it expires? And he got vaccinated. He's like 30 years old.
Really?
So my parents are on that list because they're not eligible yet.
Uh-huh.
So if you're out there and you really want to get vaccinated, you
No,
can go. You
there's-
can go to pharmacies and
there's-
say, "Put me on the list
Yeah.
if no one shows up."
There's way. One of my mom's the person that lives with my mom, her tenant or whatever, just got it, and she's about our age, and that's just on a waiting list. My mom just got the first dose.
Oh, so she did the thing like,
She's old enough.
yeah,
Oh, she, because then they moved up the 65 and older thing.
Right.
So she
Right.
got it.
but your mom's tenant was able to get it on the
Yeah,
the wait list style?
yeah. That's how she got it.
Yeah.
No, so I mean, we're almost there. No more not doing episodes 'cause of COVID scares, hopefully, and
Yeah, this was hopefully the last time. That's why we were off. My family got sick, and then even today,
yeah, we almost didn't do it.
my mom tested positive,
Did-
so I went and got tested.
You
and-
do a rapid one?
Yeah,
It's 15 minutes. It's crazy, right?
yeah. They did both my nostrils and then called me after I got home.
And they were like, "You're good, man."
Yep.
It's cool.
Tested neg.
Speaking of negative, no, just joking. As you know, as we discussed last episode, I am wearing a new shirt
Ooh, let's see it.
for every episode, and you know, this since we've been talking about space so much, it's only fitting that I present to you my new Space Force T-shirt.
It's a trademark violation.
Yes. But I'm not selling it, so it should be okay.
But we could.
If
I mean, what are they going to do?
cease and desist,
Yeah.
probably, I don't know.
And then we will.
Yeah. So we got the what is this? USSF, United States Space Force. This is their newer logo.
A subsidiary of the United States Air Force.
I added
but
all this. So are the Marines.
You added a gradient.
Yeah, I added that crap.
They have the circle too, right?
Well, this is the logo.
Mm.
There's the seal
The
that's on
seal.
like the flag and everything.
Right. It's marketing.
So I don't know. This is like the Air Force's fun little.
What's that little triangle? Is that called a delta?
Well, okay. This is I need to send this to you. Now, you may recall several episodes ago we were talking about
How they ripped it off?
no, well, yes. Oh, come on, picture.
They stole it from
we were
the
talking about logos in general and how big companies pay, millions of dollars for these logos that are barely different, and then they add all this nonsense to them, like this stands for this.
Right.
And, well, the the Space Force just happened to do that, and if you want to take a look here,
All right, let's look.
we can. And you tell me if this was thought of previously, or
If it was made
if
up.
it was after the logo and they
Okay.
just completely BS'd it.
Let's see. Hang on, let me open it real quick. Semper Supra. All right.
I believe that's Toyota's new car.
I don't know. What's that? I don't want to do that.
Yeah, what's happening?
Escape out of that. There we go.
Jeez.
All right, hang on. Let me get it on the screen there. All right, so we have the symbol. It is called Semper Supra.
Always above,
Okay.
which okay,
Sometimes space is below, but that's fine.
it is space, and there is no above or
Right.
or below. It's just space. But
The
so
symbol.
yeah, this is now, I know you can't see this if you're but Google it or look it up or maybe you've seen it.
We'll put it on TikTok.
Yeah. So first used in 1961 by
By Star Trek.
Yeah, the Delta symbol honors the heritage of the U.S. Air Force and Space Command.
Okay.
Okay, fine. The Delta, sure.
Sure.
And by most other space agencies and TV
Right.
shows.
It's
and
because it's an arrow. It looks
Right.
like it's flying. Sure.
Now, this is where we get a little like, okay. The silver outer border of the Delta signifies defense and protection from all adversaries and threats emanating from the space domain.
Which is 0.
Yeah. The black
Just-
area inside embodies the vast darkness of deep space. Come on, man.
Come on.
There's no freaking way. Hey, design firm, here's what we want. We want a silver border that signifies and then we want to make sure there's black in the middle to signify the
Right.
vast darkness of space.
So here's what
This is a terrible. This is the darkness and
Right.
emptiness of space.
What I see is they came to them without this black, and the guy who's in charge is like, I really want a black inside border.
Yeah,
Well, John, we got to have a
like a reason.
we got to have a reason.
Well, it represents the darkness of space.
Space is dark, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the four beveled elements symbolize the joint armed forces supporting the space mission: Air Force, Army, Navy, and Marines. So for some reason, their logo incorporates all the other branches.
But not them.
Yeah. And then inside the Delta, the two spires represent the action of a rocket launching into outer atmosphere in support of the central role of the Space Force in defending the space domain.
This is such bullshit.
In the center of the Delta is the star Polaris, which symbolizes how the core values guide the Space Force mission. Anyway, if you were listening to that episode, this is the kind of BS I'm talking about.
Right.
They come up with a logo. So I was thinking we should do this real quick with our logo.
Absolutely.
So if you want to pull up our newest version of the logo, do you have it somewhere?
Yes, I do. Give me just a minute.
A minute? God. Oh, there it is.
Okay. Here we have it.
All right. Well, we got to do every stupid thing here. So
Well, this one's obvious.
the
The-
microphone, I don't know if you noticed, everyone, but the O has an old-style microphone inside.
Symbolizes our love for voice.
That represents the
sounds.
history, the history of
Right.
voice podcasts and the depth and
Audio works.
changes that it's made to the nation.
Right. The reason we chose turquoise is because of our native roots.
This is the same BS. That's totally what.
Right.
It's totally legit.
You see these shadows of the
It,
word
it represents the early Native Americans who we have come to respect,
and their oral histories.
and their and all the time that they spent on the radio.
The white naturally is to symbolize our whiteness coming together
White America.
with coming together with those natives
Yes.
to combine for one purpose.
And see, there is a little black drop shadow. That is, we had to throw black people a bone. So
well,
that
that
that's
and
what that is.
that's the drop shadow. These extra words of podcast represent how our voices will echo through time.
Well, also, orange is kind of a combination of brown and yellow, so that's the other races. So we wanted it to be really inclusive.
Right.
Well,
the slight curve on the
yeah.
that was very intentional.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To represent
That
the
we
curvature
believe-
of the earth.
Yeah, we don't believe the Earth is flat.
Right.
We make fun of that all the time.
And the mixer in the back is just because it's a fucking mixer. There's no
Well, yeah. I mean, the purple tint is obviously to embrace our, overlords,
the color purple
the alien
and
races, and
purple rain.
Soros and the liberal media
Right.
and the right-wing media. They actually both control us. It's kind of weird.
Right.
Illuminati, essentially.
We're gonna make up one of these with arrows, just like the other one.
Yeah.
And we'll put that on a shirt.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find other companies we'll make it a regular segment
Yeah.
because there's so much. It's such BS every
Right.
time. This is pretty egregious though. The black represents
Yeah.
the darkness of space. Oh man.
You just left out the moon.
Yeah.
You left out the stars. Like you went with one star,
Polaris, which is the North Star, right?
but you could have gone with the sun and said the source of all power.
And then the North Star has something to do with Jesus, so
There you go. It all comes back.
family values, or I don't know.
Right.
Man, I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, Space Force, as you know, I'm in support of now. I think it's great. I'm going to join it and
All right.
be captain of the Enterprise or whatever. So the other day, I ran out of bird food.
Oh no.
I did. So I signed up for Amazon's weekly deliveries. I can't remember what it's called.
Amazon Day.
The shop or the subscribe and save. That's what it's called.
Yes.
So I have
You choose the frequency.
right.
Yeah.
I have a couple bags delivered every 2 weeks, but I thought it was every other week, and so I thought it was coming that Wednesday, but I was like, oh crap, I'm out of bird food. What am I gonna do? And I was like, man, the stores are closed because it was at night, and I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And that's when I got on PetSmart's website, and I have a gift card there from Christmas, and on there it says now delivered by DoorDash.
Get out of here.
So it was the next day. I couldn't do it that night, but I had bird food DoorDash delivered
DoorDash will deliver.
pet food.
I guess.
PetSmart.
they
I don't know if they'll deliver like a parakeet to you or anything,
So
but
they'll deliver food and retail goods.
yeah. So this is the question I pose. Did COVID or has COVID really solidified the nail in the coffin on traditional retail, because I have been ordering everything online the
Right.
past few months. I got a delivery of toilet paper and deodorant the other day. I got hand soap the other day. I got groceries. I'm
So-
not going anywhere anymore.
This is interesting, and I don't think it's going to be our generation that decides,
Mm-hmm.
because I think our generation is going to want to go back. We like the buying experience because we had it growing up.
I agree, as long as if I can get it that day.
Right.
That's the point. But there's so many instances that I can't now
Right.
because of all the online trends. They're carrying less product in the store.
Right.
So if I want something obscure, I normally have to go to Amazon.
Right. It's interesting because I was actually talking about this at work
Oh, really?
in terms of how, the digital transformation, so to speak,
Right.
and how companies like Home Depot,
Uh-huh.
who it's hard to imagine them not having a retail space,
Right.
but I guess it's possible that you could certainly order lumber now and have
Right.
it delivered, but they're trying to find a way to combine the two. So now, like, their app will show you what aisle it's on
Right,
to
right.
make your shopping experience
a lot
more
easier,
efficient.
yeah. Except for Lowe's never works right. It always
Right.
tells you the wrong aisle.
So I think our generation who grew up going to stores, getting the shopping experience,
Mm-hmm.
will probably go back to that.
Probably.
But people who were raised during this time, and I don't just mean COVID, but like this Amazon, this Prime,
Right.
they might not care of the shopping experience, and maybe
Right.
it'll become like a boutique thing, right? There will be like a Target boutique
Just a little itty bitty
with
store
yeah.
downtown.
and the people are wearing aprons, but just for show, just to show you
Right,
what it was
right.
like back then.
There's a turn back the time restaurant with a with a weird Pizza Hut in the
yeah, dude, like
in
a
the corner.
food court. Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, we're seeing it with restaurants. People are jumping at the opportunity to go back to restaurants.
I've been door dashing so much.
I haven't gone to a restaurant, but I had a buddy who called me. We were talking about work, and he went out to dinner with some friends, and he's a
Mhm.
little nervous about COVID. He's got a baby at home.
All right.
So he asked these friends who made the reservation, like, hey, COVID,
Right.
And they're like, oh, no, the restaurant's taking precautions.
Mm.
And they get there, and he's like, I kid you not, the entire restaurant was full. People waiting in the lobby,
Oh, really?
in the foyer. Every single table, no spaces, no marked off, and this is in Salt Lake City,
Well,
the most
that's-
liberal
that's-
city in
That's
Utah.
not. That's against the rules still, isn't it?
I think they don't care.
Huh.
I think they stopped caring because they're going bankrupt.
Right.
But it proves that
Because I went to
this point that people want to go back.
I went to Goodwood with my dad retired and he wanted to take us out to celebrate. So we
Love
went
Goodwood.
to Goodwood, and granted it was on a Thursday, but they spaced everybody out,
Right.
and they had the shields up, and everyone was wearing a mask. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know, because
I didn't feel like it was, it's like the whole social distancing, and then you get on an airplane and sit next to it. Like, it seems
Right.
like, all right, really, what's the point of this? I guess,
Right.
but because everyone takes their masks off when they sit down.
maybe it depends on the county and the punishment that is involved, right?
Yeah.
If the punishment isn't to come shut you down
Uh-huh.
and it's just a fine,
Right.
then you could be like,
It might be cheaper to
it's
just pay
cheaper
the
to
fine.
pay the fine.
Yeah.
If they come in and shut you down, then okay, yeah, you gotta follow the rules.
Right.
Anyway,
Well, I mean, we've been trending really good with the vaccinations. I don't know, I haven't been following other states, but we seem to be able to actually hit that July mark
Yeah.
for having most people that want it vaccinated.
my job is allowing people back in the office starting next week. On
Oh,
a
really?
voluntary basis. You have to go through a bunch of orientation
Mm-hmm.
to show, mask, disinfect, that kind of thing.
Right.
But that's early, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are going. I think they're limiting it. But I wasn't expecting anybody, especially for a company like I work for that's quite liberal,
Mm-hmm.
to go that route that quick,
Yeah, well, I think this has taught us two things, the COVID has. I think, one, it's taught companies that working from home is pretty viable, and, it's totally an okay option, and people, for the most part, seem to be just as productive,
if not more.
if not more.
Right.
You cut that commute time out, and we complain about our commutes here in Utah, but
Oh man.
in most cities,
Yeah.
people would kill for a 35-minute
Right.
commute. So I think that has proven true. I think it's also made us, the employees, realize that maybe we didn't like working from home as much as we thought.
Right.
Because it's fine, but it's also boring and reclusive, and
Right. We want the social aspect for the most part.
yeah, and you get tired faster, and
Well, and especially
yeah.
if you're meeting a lot.
Oh yeah,
The fatigue from your Zoom fatigue, it's
Right.
kind of the trending word right now. But yeah, I don't know. I will see what happens. But I remember reading a study before COVID that talked about working from home. Usually, you see like a 20% uptick.
Yeah,
in productivity.
there's a lot of companies, especially Japan. They seem to be the trendsetters right now because of how many people kill themselves because of
Right, because their job.
yeah.
There was
But they've been doing work from home. A lot of companies have been switching to 4-day work weeks or
Yeah.
6-hour days, and they're not seeing much of a drop.
people
in
still have the amount they need to
productivity.
get done. Right. It's Spotify announced they're going full-time remote. We don't care where you're working from. Like,
And I guess that's caused it's caused a lot of people to start moving away from cities.
yeah, they're like, well, if I can live anywhere and do this job, then I'm going to move to New Zealand.
Yeah,
You
or
know,
at least 50 miles away from the city where it's cheaper.
right? Yeah, you're telling me I can have an American wage job
Right.
and live in Costa Rica. Then I'm going to go live in Costa Rica and make an American wage. Like, that's crazy,
That would be pretty.
right?
That would be. That's a
It'd be
good- that's a good
insane.
idea.
And we don't know yet. That could very well happen. I was talking with my bosses about this, and they're like, we don't know. We might see a decrease in productivity as we come back, in which
Mhm.
case then we're going to have to be splitting our weeks.
Right.
If we're finding that people are better at home, then you're going to be working from home if you want.
I
you know?
mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say what. I'm trying to think what keeps me less productive when I'm at the office. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
But you are. I found when we first started working from home,
Yeah.
I did not leave my chair except for lunch.
Oh, really?
And I think back to the office, I left all the time to go get a drink, to go get some food downstairs. Like, I was always up from my seat. But for some reason at home, it was just like, I just got to get this shit done,
I guess you're right. That is kind of true, huh?
And I think most companies will have the metrics to be able to quantify it, to know.
Depending on the company, but yeah, I mean, especially these tech companies
Yeah.
and people who have the open concept floor plans where
Right.
there's a desk, right next to you, where you can just. Because when you start talking to somebody, even if you're trying to do two things at once,
Right.
your productivity is just.
That and like I think leaders especially realize that actually, you know what? Zoom and Microsoft Teams communication is actually pretty effective.
It's fine, yeah.
Like I can still see their face. I can still,
Right.
still read their tone. Like,
right.
all right.
Yeah. It.
And in fact, people that you used to not communicate with via, maybe you communicated with them over the phone, like in an office.
Uh-huh.
Now you're calling them on Zoom, and your communication's more effective
Right.
because you're not just hearing them; you're actually seeing them.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing to see will be what the productivity looks like when people start going back to offices, and if it dips. Because
Well,
if it does, then
Yeah, which let's hear. Like, all right, we got to start a movement.
right,
Working class people, when we go back,
mm-hmm.
shit the bed.
just suck.
Just do
Just
terrible.
start like I can't do this.
Just do terrible. And then if they experiment and send you back home, kick some ass.
Keep it up.
Yeah. And we'll win. Right? Working class heroes. We can win this.
I'm still.
we can win this
I'm
fight.
having to work at the office every day because I don't have a laptop. I have an iMac, and I'm not gonna lug that back and forth.
I now have 2 MacBooks.
Oh, really? Oh, you have a workbook?
Yeah,
Or work?
yeah.
And I can do a lot of stuff from my computer, but as far as,
You need a lot of RAM.
I do. This one has
Yeah.
64, and mine only has 16, and
Yeah.
it gets really bogged down with 4K videos. It barely works, and animations.
Right.
It's getting worse
Well,
and worse.
no one's watching porn not in 4K, so
Well, no one's watching porn on their laptop anymore, so you
yeah.
just, if you need a big screen, you just stream it from your phone to the TV,
Right.
and then forget forget that little.
Get one of those like $10 like mirror projectors. You've seen those that
Yeah.
you put your phone. Yeah. Anyway, I won't go into details.
I mean, the closer you put the phone to your face, the bigger the screen feels. It's
Just-
almost like you're in a
just
theater,
natural.
man. It's
Right.
same thing. So I don't know.
And now we're going backwards. We're going back to like 70s, theaters. But back to retail. Yeah. I don't think it's going to die anytime soon. I think that
I don't know. I think some companies may struggle. I think your Walmarts will be fine.
I think it definitely depends on the industry.
And I do think that a lot of people who used to go to the store and stop during COVID won't go back.
Right.
The more I shop and get my stuff delivered on Amazon,
Yeah.
the more I'm like, I don't need to go to the store.
You know what it might come down? Well, I'm sure there's a ton of variables, but here's one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Returns are still a pain in the ass.
That's true. I wouldn't go clothes shopping online.
Right. Now, if returns get easier, I have returned clothes that I
Mhm.
bought on Amazon, but it's a pain because
Right.
you can't fit it in your mailbox maybe,
Right.
and they usually go USPS on returns.
And it takes a couple days, and maybe you need it that night. And
Right.
Which is weird because clothing stores are some of the ones that are having the hardest time.
Well,
but
it's either because people are buying less clothes because they're working from home, or most people aren't like us. I don't know.
most people fit into because
They know their size.
when I get an XXL shirt from some places, it's like it's not my kind of XXL.
Right.
It's the Rock's XXL, and all the extra fabric is in the sleeves,
You just-
not in the
yeah.
gut.
You just don't accept it. You're like,
Have you ever
I bet I'm a medium.
Have you ever bought a shirt like that? I bought one from the Buckle once, and I think it was
they just hang
XXL.
down.
Yeah, and the shirt, I'm like, what the hell? But the sleeves were seriously just hanging down. Like, this is not made for me.
Right.
This is the wrong kind of XXL. Because
Right.
me and The Rock, we weigh about the same, but he looks like he does, and I look like I do.
Right. Which objectively, I don't see a huge difference. Yeah, I don't know, but I think if returns get easier, if you can do something as simple as leave the item on your porch
Right.
without boxing it,
Right.
because I've thrown away a box before that needed to return something.
Yeah, that's what. Once that happens, I've actually had
Yep.
intentions to return things
Yep.
and be like, no,
Absolutely.
screw it.
Yeah, I have a headset sitting over there
Yeah,
somewhere that I
like,
did.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that. That means I have to find a box and go to USPS and drop it off. Come on, come
So,
on.
yeah, if I bought some shoes, threw away the box, and they didn't fit, and I could just leave them on my porch, that would be ideal.
Yeah, but at the same time, I want them now. I still have that attitude.
Right.
Uh,
And some
but
sellers,
I don't like toilet paper. Unless I'm out,
right,
I don't really care when it gets there.
right,
Groceries, all that sort of stuff. But if I have finally got enough money to go buy that new pair of
Jordans.
yeah, then I want to go get them
That's
and
true.
take them home
You-
and do things to them.
So there's a sense of immediate gratification, which
Right.
is totally American, but maybe a little bit of the shopping experience. You want to go try them on.
Although I will say that Amazon Next Day has alleviated some of that.
For sure.
When I know that it's going to get there the next day, when I
Yes.
get home by the time I get home from work, it's like,
Also, nothing better than when it's like below an hour on the countdown.
oh yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm so good right now. Like, this is awesome. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other variables that could contribute to
COVID part 2.
not not wanting to go back to retail.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just depends. The only reason I've really gone to stores this last year is 'cause I wanted it that day or needed it that day.
Oh, I was going to say, some sellers on Amazon will send you the replacement product as soon as they see a tracking number.
Yes.
They won't wait for
no,
it to
Amazon.
get back.
I think it's actually Amazon itself that does that when
Okay.
it's
If it's
fulfilled
fulfilled?
by Amazon. If
Yeah.
it's not, then I think that
Yeah.
because you're right. I've had had to return. Remember the big light stands that I bought for the band. I got one and it was broken, and so I had to return it. And I dropped it off at the UPS store, and it registered as returned like within 10
You
minutes.
got a text that's
yeah,
like,
and
"Thanks."
it said the next
That's
one
true.
was shipping
Actually,
out.
yeah, that desk I have over there, the first one I got was missing parts, and they mailed me one first, and they said use that box to send it back.
Oh, really?
But I still had to take it.
And then you kept both, and nothing ever came
No,
of it.
they
'cause
they would have charged
they're
me.
Amazon. They're huge. They don't really notice that
There
kind
are
of stuff.
some items. I bought the wrong batteries one time
Uh-huh.
for like my alarm sensors.
Yeah.
And so I just put return, and it's like, just keep them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like,
Oh.
we'll give you your money back, but just keep them. It's
Oh, I've
not,
never
it's
had
not
'em
worth
do
our
that.
time.
That's funny.
It's not worth our time for the $6. Costs
Yeah,
more.
I never return anything that's less than like $20.
Yeah.
It's really tough for me to, and you know, going to. I can't tell you how many things that I've not returned to Walmart because returning anything there is a pain.
There's always a line.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really.
Yeah.
I'll just write this off here.
What was the company back in the day that would take anything? Nordstrom.
Oh, really?
I think that's how they got so popular, their customer service. You could take a set of tires in there. And they would take them. They're like, yeah, we'll give you some money for that.
Sure.
Whatever. I think it was Nordstrom.
That's funny.
Anyway.
So as you know, here in Utah, it's been
It's been
a
sorry.
new legislative session.
Yes.
And one of the laws that has made it all the way, I believe, to the governor's desk, is the new gun law
Constitutional carry, as
that
people call
makes
it.
it where you do not need to attend a class or anything
Nor carry a permit.
or have a permit to have your concealed license or carry
Just
a concealed weapon.
Conceal a weapon.
Now, mind you, Utah's previous law was very liberal, in so much so that many people from other states would come here to get it here
Right.
because it
It's
was
like a 2-hour class.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess those people won't be coming here anymore.
They might, because you still can't cross state lines into a state that requires a permit,
That's true.
which is why some people in Utah will still be taking the class. One of the
Oh,
reasons.
yeah, I was wondering what would.
So I
Seems
I
like
don't-
those places would go out of business.
Yeah, like if Nevada is not a constitutional, I don't even like calling that. That's just what it is. If it's not a constitutional carry state,
Right.
they require a permit.
Are we the only? We got to be the only one, right? I mean,
No, there's several.
no, really.
There's several, yeah.
I'm sure they're all out here.
And I believe Governor Cox signed it. It's done.
No, I'm pretty sure it's done.
I think it's May 1st.
What do you think about it?
If I'm comparing it to the concealed class that we had before,
Mm-hmm.
I've never taken it, but
I haven't either.
I know a lot of people who have,
Yeah.
and they're just as safe, if not less safe, with guns than I am.
Uh-huh.
I've almost been shot.
Well, that was Randy's fault
Right.
when you were doing pigeons.
No, Randy's very safe with guns.
He
It's an
almost shot you,
accident.
though, doing
Um,
pigeons.
Yeah, doing pigeons. So comparing it to our previous law, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't think I don't necessarily, I'm a liberal, you know that.
Right.
So I think the more restrictions, the better, just at its heart. But I think the real thing that's going to stop it is background checks, stricter laws on what can be sold. Right. We don't care what you carry, but we're not going to let you carry a 25-round magazine.
My thoughts are the people who are lawfully concealing their gun were already taking the course.
Right.
And so the people, it's not like you're people who are doing it illegally or yeah.
Am I
Nothing's
more
gonna
likely?
change.
Am I more likely to carry now? Yeah,
Yeah, why not?
for sure.
Yeah.
Not because it's legal, but because there's a lot of fucktards out there with guns now. Like,
Now that everyone can, everyone's just like,
yeah,
What was
dude,
that?
we're so
What's
on,
that?
so on edge. Like, yeah,
I don't. Are there? See, the one reason I wanted to take the class is because I thought it went over some of the legalities of when you can shoot and when you can't.
I don't know. Honestly, I know there's a big discrepancy among the classes. Like Randy went to
Oh.
one that was 8 hours long.
Wow.
So it went over more safety,
terrible.
more laws, more self-defense techniques,
Oh.
rather than just here's how you chamber around, here's how you turn the safety off. Oh, your gun doesn't have a safety.
Do they teach you that? I thought it was like I thought people just knew how to do that.
I don't know. Like I said, I've never taken it.
Hmm.
Constitutional carry. Let's see. Oh, Idaho, Wyoming. Is that Arizona?
Hmm.
Bible Belt states. Looks like in Texas it doesn't. Really, Texas?
No, Texas is it's too big.
Open and concealed carry with a permit.
Plus,
is
Texas is 50-50, man. It's not. I mean, Beto O'Rourke barely lost.
Yeah, but
and
I don't think their state legislature is.
Oh, probably not. But
Anyway.
so you know what all this is telling me?
I'm
Because
yeah.
there's that just passed, and crap, there's something else that passed. But basically, to me, it's saying that Utah is less of a Republican state and more of a libertarian state. They don't want any government at all.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment. I think that a lot of Utahns are libertarian. I think that a lot of them are conservative and don't know why.
Oh, definitely.
We haven't been a state. It's only been like 125 years. It's not that long, and we really wanted statehood.
Right.
We could have just governed ourselves. Let Brigham. Well, Brigham died by then, but.
Yeah, but they would have got Utah eventually.
Well, I think what we wanted, I say we because I'm a Utahn, I'm not saying I think what the Utahns back then wanted was protection from the federal,
Right.
not from the federal government, they wanted the federal government's protection.
Right.
So,
Speaking of
I don't know.
Speaking of being a Utah,
Yeah.
I grew up in Texas. I lived there for 20 years. Wow, I've lived here for 16, so I'm only 4 away from.
What do you like better?
Well, so
You were in Dallas.
yeah, it's different, because I kind of have stopped saying that I'm from Texas, because
It's been a long time.
it's been a long time, and the experiences that I've had differ. So now I say I grew up in Texas.
Sure.
But I became an adult in Texas, but all my life experience is
Right.
here. All my adult life experience is here. So I'm at the point now where I'm having some level of pride for Utah.
Sure.
And
Especially now that the Jazz are winning.
actually, that is what I was going to transition into.
Yeah.
Is that, and I know that I'm starting to have some level of pride because I'm starting to get annoyed with the people who keep putting the Jazz down.
Right.
Because it's like, what?
Continually.
It's not that bad here. Stop it. Yes, there are crazy people everywhere,
Yeah.
but come on, man.
Yeah. We got a couple blue cities. Come on. We're not like Oklahoma. That's our metric for coolness.
Yeah, I know, right? That's pretty low. So
there are times when I'm proud to be a Utahn, and then there are other times when I'm like, I wish I wasn't a Utahn.
well, another reason why I know this is because when people like Dingleberry Jones, also known as our favorite senator,
Yeah.
he
He who shall not be named.
I just
Michael
seriously
Lee.
can't remember his name. Mike Lee.
Yeah.
I'm consistently embarrassed that he's our senator. Like
I am so
on a regular basis, I'm like,
I'm so mad at Mike Lee that I'm honestly considering running against him just out of principle.
like I don't care how Republican Mitt Romney is. I am fine. I'm
Sure.
not embarrassed to have Mitt Romney be our senator.
No, because he's an actual Republican.
yeah, and he's a decent person.
He's not a
He's not a freaking idiot.
He's not a rich Trumplican.
I mean, Mike Lee has said and done some of the dumbest things
Right.
that I've ever seen a senator do. Like, embarrassingly, like, grow up. How are you this stupid?
Yeah.
It's astonishing. So I really think we need to start a campaign, a grassroots campaign here, because he is up for re-election in 24 or 22.
I think 22.
22.
Yeah, it's going right now.
Yeah. So we need a really strong push to get former Governor John Huntsman to run against him.
Yes.
Now, I know that Romney and Huntsman have some weird beef, billionaire beef.
Do they?
I don't know. I've heard that.
Oh.
But who cares? Huntsman would be
I'd
a
vote for Huntsman.
marvelous senator.
Yeah.
And the duo of Huntsman and Romney I would be very happy to have them be our state senators.
Yeah, how
because
can we
both
do
of
that?
them are not stupid.
How can we do that? How do we get Huntsman? I mean, I did send you that
Yeah.
website, Humans Against Mike Lee.
Right. Which is great.
They
It's great.
they have T-shirts and
apparel.
bumper stickers. Humans Against Mike Lee. I almost ordered one, and I thought, well, we can make one ourselves.
That's true.
Maybe that's his plan. I mean, I told you when he was running for governor, when Huntsman was running for governor,
Yeah.
that I thought his plan was to springboard into either the Senate or the presidency again.
I wouldn't mind that either. I don't know how well he'd fare.
If he runs for president in 24 and Trump runs for president in 24, which it's looking like is going to happen,
Or no, I didn't hear his speech today.
I think you would have a split Republican Party again.
Well, I don't know if the Republican Party realizes how split they are, but right now they're in a position to never win an election again.
Well, yeah, when you have the House or the Senate co-majority leader right now, Mitch McConnell, in complete disagreement with other powerful senators.
You mean with himself? I don't know if you heard him this week.
I did. I still think. Listen,
He's constantly in disagreement with himself.
I still think Mitch is evil.
Yeah, of course.
But when he is actively in disagreement with powerful senators like Lindsey Graham, he's in active disagreement with Donald Trump. He thinks Donald Trump's a criminal.
Well, as far as I can tell, he thinks he's a complete idiot.
Yeah, and it's really likely, unless Donald Trump's health deteriorates or Republicans lose back. So here's what's going to happen. Republicans are going to depend on Trump for 2022.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose, then maybe they'll move away from him. If they pick up and if they get the majority back, then they might ride that Trump train
I just
into
don't.
2024.
I don't understand why they want. It seems like at this point they just want to distance themselves.
Why wouldn't you? He lost.
He lost, and he's obviously.
I don't know the history of every election. But I can't imagine a time where if I were the leader of a party that I would want to stick by the losing candidate.
Yeah.
He lost by 7 million, unless you really think that it was a lie. If you really think the election was a lie, okay, you're stupid, but at least it explains your position of standing by Trump, right? But if you think the election was legitimate and he lost by 7 million votes at least, why would you stand by a losing candidate?
And that's the thing, is that you have a Democratic Party who kind of joined together, and though not everyone is super impressed with Joe Biden.
No, in fact, I've seen a lot of Democrats really pissed this week, especially.
I'm sure.
About the cages, the kids in cages. It's not.
Well, what did he do?
He upgraded the cages.
Are they nicer now, or
they're just nicer cages for the kids?
Oh, good.
So a lot of Democrats, including myself, are saying that's not enough. No.
Well,
that's not.
Wasn't it his administration that, like the Obama administration, technically?
I don't know actually when it started, but I know that
cages. I know that allegation was made at some point, but
I think it's true.
Yeah,
but it could have started under fucking Reagan for all I know. I don't know.
Right. So, but nonetheless, when Trump is involved, the Democrats will now, at this point especially, pull together and vote against Trump.
Yeah.
But the thing with the Republicans is you have a split party, and half of them are voting because they're fanatic Trump people, and the rest of them are like, I need to vote Republican because I side with their structure more,
or I'm trying to keep my job.
And it should be the other way around. It should be that the people, the real Republicans, are voting for the candidate, and the psychotic people, conspiracy theorists, are like, I guess I'll vote for that guy because he's a Republican.
Right.
better than Hillary.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's the question is, will a semi-normal, semi-stupid Republican actually stand up?
Well, and if Trump doesn't win the nomination, I would imagine he will run third party. He will start his own party,
For sure.
and then it will be done.
And Democrats will win again. Kamala Harris will win.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
if that party gains traction, then the Republican Party will never win another election.
I mean, unless there's another massive fumble
Uh-huh.
along the same lines as what Trump did with COVID
Right.
during this administration, I think Kamala's got a really good shot of winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's who I'm assuming is going to get the nod.
Yeah, I mean we don't even know if Joe's going to run a second
I'm
term.
pretty sure he said he wouldn't. Obviously,
Yeah, but
politicians
people
change their
say
mind.
that and they're
But
like,
he's
"But
old."
Air Force One is really nice. I think I want to keep this.
Right. Yeah, it's so wouldn't it be what if he ran with as her vice? Anyway,
He
I-
wants he's had plenty of time
right. I don't
on
want
the Air Force
Two.
2, okay? He wants that
Right.
new, brand new 747-800, which I just watched a documentary
And
on.
you don't want the second best pilot. You want the best pilot.
I didn't realize how so there's a new Nat Geo just brought out a new documentary about the new Air Force 1.
Is it done?
Not till 2024.
Oh,
It's
man.
in it's their so
So Joe might get one ride on it.
maybe.
The ride out of the White
Yeah,
House.
maybe. So the way it went down was Obama ordered 2 brand new 747-8Is from Boeing to be specially made into the new Air Force Ones.
Right. Reinforced all the
Yes. Trump was like, "Brr, brr, 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 brr. That's too expensive," and he canceled it,
to use the money on the wall. Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
And then, he realized how crappy the current Air Force One is, which it actually is really crappy.
Relative.
Well, yeah. And Boeing presented 2 747-8Is that had already been built, and the airline that had bought them couldn't pay for them. So they were just sitting in Arizona. So now they've taken these airplanes and they're refitting them. So they're having to cut new holes in the metal, and which is causing them to have to like elevate it and make it weightless and do all these extra measures so the body doesn't get twisted and
Right. It's
and,
gonna create a bunch of stress.
so it's
Yeah.
it's been double. I would think double the work, but apparently it's
Can you
cheaper.
just
I
build a
guess.
new one?
I don't know. Seems kind of stupid, but yeah, 2024, and it's gonna be rad. It's going to be the longest airplane ever.
Same paint scheme?
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
Did you see?
Because Trump had his.
Did you? So that was like my biggest thing about Biden getting elected. Is like I need him to get in there and reverse this, U.S. Airways bull crap that Trump
Right.
is putting in there.
This is the only reason
It's
I voted for
freaking
Biden.
ugly.
was to get
We
rid-
want Jackie Kennedy colors back, and I thought I was the only one who cared. But first press conference with his new secretary,
Someone
somebody
asked?
like right after a COVID question, someone's like, "Has President Biden given any thought to the livery of Air Force One?" And she was like, "I
Is
don't."
that a serious question?
Yeah, she
Right.
She basically said the president has not thought about that at all. I'm like,
Right.
no,
I voted
this is
for
why
you.
I voted for you.
I am one of your constituents.
What are you thinking? Jackie Kennedy picked those colors.
Right.
They're iconic.
It's true. It's like a president saying, "In 4 years, we're going to change the flag."
Basically,
Yeah, that's
the new new livery is so boring and plain. It looks like any other airliner. The original is so iconic, so I don't know if you've ever seen it before.
Yeah.
But it's like in real life.
yeah. I saw it take off from Hill.
Yeah, and it's just like wow.
Yeah.
When you see it in the air, it's just it's and this new one's just gonna
It's
be
true.
like,
Yeah. It's, you know what? When I saw Air Force One, it reminded me of that scene on Step Brothers when they're at the Catalina wine mixer,
yeah,
and everybody's like, "It's the fucking Catalina wine."
yeah.
mixer." I got out of my car and I was like, "It's fucking Air Force One."
When I first saw it, because I was driving to the airport to see it, and it flew right over me,
Yeah.
or in front of me, and I blew through a red light because I was just watching like, oh my
Yeah.
god, oh shit,
I-
and there were cops there too.
Yeah.
with their
But they
lights
were-
on, and then they were doing the same thing, so somebody freaking noticed.
Yeah, I wasn't that close. I saw it take off from hill and then turn west, but it was still cool to see it. You can still pick it out.
Yeah.
Like it's, yeah.
It's basically a
I don't know what was cooler, seeing Air Force One or seeing the space shuttle on the 747 when they flew that into Salt Lake. That was
I
cool.
didn't see that, but yeah,
It was rad.
It's a lot of plane.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Makes the space shuttle look small,
well, the space shuttle is kind of small
Yeah.
when you really get down to it.
and it still takes all of that fuel
Yeah.
to get it up there. It's crazy.
I'm so annoyed with space. I just think we should be able to get up there easy.
I know.
Now.
Should just be able to fly in.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Spencer Cox though
Oh.
for a sec.
Like, you're talking about me, like what? What? Yeah.
We were talking about with the new gun law he signed. One law he didn't sign:
Oh yeah.
the ban on transgender,
I told you I like Cox.
basically male transgenders in female sport or
Uh-huh.
in male sport. Female transgender in female sports.
Yeah.
Men who were people
Yeah.
who were born genetically male participating in female sports. He refused to sign the bill as it was written.
Right.
And I watched a press conference with him. Actually, it wasn't. It was an interview on PBS,
Uh huh.
and he got emotional
Oh, did he?
talking about meeting these kids
Yeah.
and that the suicide rate.
Uh huh.
He's like, this is just not what matters right now.
Right.
So few of them are participating in sports anyway. The fact that the legislature is using any time out of its limited 45-day schedule
Uh huh.
to ban transgender people from participating in sports. He's like, you need to meet these individuals, and he was crying.
No, I told you.
It was touching.
I told you that he was a good dude. You're just like, no, man.
I never said he wasn't a
Peter-
good dude.
Doug Peterson is no.
I never said Spencer Cox wasn't a good dude. I said he looked like a deer in the headlights in his debate. He looked scared.
Yeah. I
but he's
think,
clearly not
I
scared
think
here.
I think he's done a good job so far. Our vaccine rollout has been great. He has done a lot of things that I'm like, why didn't Herbert? Why didn't Herbert do this?
Yeah.
You know what? Why?
Well, and you
I mean,
can't
'cause-
call him not a Republican when he signs a constitutional carry law. and-
Well, yeah, but that's I mean, he's a moderate, and I think he might be more of a real Republican who actually has the wherewithal to look around and remember that the Republican Party is supposed to be the big tent
Right.
and not the, Ku Klux Klan meeting with a
Right.
small tent where only whites are allowed.
Did you freaking see Tucker Carlson?
Which
He played a clip
we
of.
did a series of stupid things this week, but
Oh my gosh, dude! This was a couple weeks ago. He played a clip of. I think it was a CNN anchor or someone, a pundit somewhere, saying that anyone's welcome in the Democratic fold, so to speak, right? And Tucker's like, so it cuts and it comes back to him and he says, "You're right. Everyone's welcome except for white supremacists and those who disagree with them." It was like, Tucker. I can't imagine his producer wasn't like, "Oh fuck, no, cut." Is he defending white supremacists?
he's so stupid.
Oh man,
I don't know how he's still on the air. Like, even Hannity has got to look at this guy and be like, "Oh,
well, if you're gonna watch Tucker Carlson, I encourage you to watch his commercial breaks, and then you'll know how valuable people think he is, because he
Well,
has no sponsors.
a lot of people are pulling out of Fox News in
Right.
general, especially Hannity
and-
and Carlson,
Yeah.
because
Well,
'cause
even
of all their
Ingram,
fake
dude,
news
Laura
and-
Ingram says some. Oof,
yeah.
she says some hardcore shit.
And then they got rid of that one dude. I can't remember his name. But yeah, I don't know.
It was amazing.
I
I'll try and
wonder-
find the clip and maybe play it for you after the break.
Are
because
are Rupert Murdoch's kids as crappy a person as he is, or
I'm sure. Have you ever seen Succession on HBO? Pretty sure it's based off the Murdoch family.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah,
I don't
just,
think so.
Just soulless people.
Well, they'd have to be.
Yeah.
I wish that Disney would have been able to acquire Fox News as well, and that they would have shut it down, I would imagine.
Just turn it into another sports channel.
Yeah.
The Octagon. The Ocho is what that's what it's called. The Ocho.
ESPN 9. You know that they do that occasionally now. ESPN does. They'll do a weird sports night and call it ESPN 8 The Ocho.
Yeah.
All right, we should probably break.
Yep.
We've been on the air for 7 hours now.
Hour and 14.
And it was all great. I was worried that we wouldn't have enough topic, but here we are again, just
Here we are.
rocking and rolling. Sorry, I was looking for my music.
It's at least stalling for some
Yeah.
reason.
It's been a couple weeks. I forgot where the button was. When we come back, we do have random headlines that I have to go find right now because I forgot. And I do have 5 random headlines from last episode that we didn't get to
It's true.
because of how long.
Ask a cop.
Maybe.
By the
we'll
way,
just-
if you haven't listened to that episode,
yeah, people seem to like it,
it's really good.
and we got a lot of TikTok plays on it.
Yeah.
And some people are saying, I'm hearing,
A lot of people are saying
that it was the best episode of any podcast ever.
ever. Right.
All right.
I'll see you in a minute.
We'll be back.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
And we're back.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. I don't know. These are okay.
They're random.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. This one I did have a holdover from the last episode that I didn't use that I found interesting.
All right.
Louisville,
Louisville.
Kentucky.
Louisville.
A 12-year-old boy and Mitch McConnell. No,
Named Mitch McConnell.
yeah.
Yeah.
A 12-year-old Lego enthusiast in Kentucky broke a Guinness World Record by building a Star Wars Millennium Falcon microfighter kit in under 2 minutes.
Wow.
Guinness said Hayden Hayes of Louisville assembled the Falcon microfighter kit in 1 minute, 59 seconds, and 70.72 seconds.
How many pieces?
This is a very small set, so it's not a lot.
So Guinness will do Legos.
But they won't do toilets. There are so many. There's a lot of stories on this website that I am bypassed. There are so many records
Right.
that are stupid. The one I just passed by was someone swam under ice for 256 feet.
Oh,
That's cold and terrible.
terrifying, man.
And I don't know, there was a couple other stupid ones, but anyway, I'm proud of my son for his hard work on this record attempt, and I'm grateful for your organization for encouraging him to pursue something meaningful in the midst of an otherwise difficult year.
I mean, I'm all for distraction, but
I
to
don't know,
call it meaningful,
honestly, I think it's the most meaningful thing he'll ever do.
I mean, if it was,
the kid leveled off at 12, never really
Right.
went anywhere from there.
if it was like a, he built a Lego memorial to COVID victims, like,
And then because of it, he got into a university here.
right?
I mean, honestly, if we practice, we could probably beat this, right?
Absolutely.
Like, this seems like one of those that we could
I think
beat.
We might have a spin-off podcast of just Guinness records to beat.
The stupidest ones.
Yeah.
Not the one where the guy sat in the bucket for like 6 weeks. Do you
No.
remember that one on the top of a pole?
Yeah. Not any that are going to take more than, a couple hours of practice.
I don't know, man. I mean, you have to memorize like how to build this thing, right?
Yeah, it's like a Rubik's Cube.
It seems doable though.
Yeah, I think it's doable.
Very similarly to I don't know.
Trailed off.
Yeah, I don't know. University of Michigan, the library closed because
3 venomous spiders, each about the size of $50, were found in
Actually,
the
didn't mean to do
basement
that, but it
of the
worked out pretty
Shapiro
well.
Undergraduate Library at the University of Michigan toward the end of January. So a spider expert had to be found, and there can't be a lot of spider experts.
I have a wonderful
Wrong.
colleague who works on tarantulas.
Oh, but back to these spiders. And Professor Anne Danielson Francois from the University of Michigan Dearborn, who was given the 3 spiders. And Professor, how do you identify spiders?
You have to look at the genitalia because that's what differs
Spider
the most
genitalia.
between these different species.
Some have 3
So
balls.
you studied spider
Ooh, a
genitalia?
cloaca.
Well, you have to put them under the microscope to see those details.
Oh, and these were Mediterranean recluse spiders.
The Mediterranean recluse is one of these cosmopolitan species. It hitchhikes with people throughout the world. It's been found in 22 states,
Yeah, that's interesting. But are they dangerous?
so they don't have a huge
Who
amount
is
of
that
venom,
guy?
but they have enough to
I don't
start
know.
necrosis, which is sort of an eating away of the flesh.
Oh, now the library was closed last Sunday and Monday, but opened on Tuesday.
Okay,
after a
so
thorough clean.
Close the
they
library for
closed
spiders.
down a whole, and this is a university library,
They
which
closed down a library.
which
for
yeah.
all species.
So this thing is huge, right? It's a big, like 6-story library,
And a $50.
and they're like,
That's not that
they,
big of
they
a
see
spider.
these 3 spiders, and they're like,
Close
close it, burn it down.
Burn it. We gotta have a book burning.
we don't believe in spiders here.
Right.
I got news for them. There are probably 100,000 brown recluses and black widows
Right.
in the walls of that spider or that building. Wasn't there like some statistic that there's a spider from you like every couple feet?
Yeah.
Like no matter where you are.
It was like a Kevin Bacon rule.
Yeah.
There's always a spider within 7 feet.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I guess because these were transient spiders, they came in on a flight that day, landed in Ann Arbor,
But I mean,
and you know,
$50.
they
They
went to
couldn't
the
look that
library. They
scary.
just wanted to learn,
Right.
and then they killed them.
Right. I mean, and then looked at their dicks through a microscope after they killed them. It's just rude.
How do you? How is it that you can tell the species?
I think she's making it up.
Like
Because I can tell a black widow just by the design on its back.
I thought you were gonna go a different direction.
I can tell it's a black widow.
I can tell it's a black man by the girth and the shade and the length of the genitalia.
Yeah, it seems like a weird. I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
I'm gonna start, every spider like, is it a male or female? Flip it over. Oh, that's a male.
What do arachnid genitalia look like? Were you
I
looking
think it's
it
a
up?
cloaca.
It's a cloaca, like a bird.
Yeah.
Hmm.
A lot of
Interesting.
animals have cloacas. I kind of wish I had one.
It seems pleasant.
Well, I mean, it just seems efficient. You've only got one hole instead of like the 8 that we have.
Right.
Snakes have 2 penises
I did not know that.
in case one breaks.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that snakes had a penis at all. How does that work?
Well, it's in their cloaca.
Oh, so they can slither around, not
Like ducks.
dragging it on the
Ducks
ground.
also have penises, but they're the only bird species that do. But they're inside their cloaca.
It protrudes.
It's actually very painful for the female because it has like barbs on it.
Ow.
Yeah,
Like the anti-rape thing.
Yes, except
It's on the
it's,
raper.
It's it's kind of the opposite of that. It's the pro-rape device.
yeah. It's awful.
Oh.
Is there any you got any more?
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading about spiders' penises. They don't have penises. They have 2 stubby appendages called
No.
No, it's pediphallops that use to store sperm and copulate. Scientists. So So-
Pedophilip? How do you spell
it's
it?
PEDIPALPS.
Pedipolis.
Sure. Philadelphia. Which is where our next story is at. Philadelphia Airport employs robots for contact-free food delivery.
Hmm.
So in the airport there, they have these little robots, and they have the ability to carry 40 pounds of cargo, which is good because when I order from an airport
Yeah.
diner, I always order at least 40 pounds worth of food.
Right.
What does 40 pounds worth of food even look like?
A grocery cart?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
That's a lot. Didn't they have these in they got some in hotels now?
Oh,
to
do
deliver
they?
room service. Yeah.
Well, it is smart. They have. I've seen them in Salt Lake a couple times. walking behind people like their dog. It's kind of a weird thing to see, but they're like carrying their groceries or something. For
Really?
them. Yeah.
Wow. Do they have legs or are they on
No,
wheels?
no, they have wheels, but they're kind of like the whole balanced out thing where they can't be tipped over or whatever.
Like a penguin,
Y-
the punching penguin
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Did you see that robot that was dancing? That viral video. It was like Boston or something, a university.
Oh yeah, it'd be Boston Robotics. They're the ones that do all the crazy dogs that they kick over and stuff.
Yeah, these are a couple robots that they can dance basically.
Yeah, they do. Their stuff is creepy.
Yeah, it is weird when they like hit them with a bat or push them.
Yeah, they're very frightening, human-like. I mean, I guess it's not frightening. It's just
No, I mean it's Skynet.
I know for a fact that once we have robots, there's no way I'm not anthropomorphized.
Right.
There's no way I'm not.
Right.
Like when I see them getting hit with the bat, I'm like,
Don't hurt it. Yeah.
And
it's got a soul.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this when I went to that. I went to a learning conference and they had a roboticist, one of the top roboticists there, and she showed us a video of a robot that. So they were doing tests of people, and all they had to do was turn off the robot, but the catch was when they started getting closer, the robot started begging for its life.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, and so a lot of people were like, I can't.
Oh my god.
I know that I would be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not shutting it off.
And little did they know that program, that sim, was designed by
Is
a
now
robot.
President Biden.
That's crazy.
I'm watching the dancing robots and they're freaking me out, especially
Yeah.
when the dog gets involved.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wait, is this real?
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
looks computer animated now.
No, it's not. There's people watching and stuff. Not that proves much.
I don't know, man.
It's real.
I watched a really convincing.
You seen the one where they like jump over like an obstacle course too? It's the
Yeah.
same robots, I think.
Yeah, I saw a really convincing fake of a military one, and I was like, I hope that's not real, 'cause that is, and it wasn't, but it looked
Yeah.
very scary.
Was that your
Anyway.
last random
Yeah,
headline?
yeah, that's it.
Well, speaking of scary moments,
Yeah.
I want to show you something that happened to me. This is from my dash cam in my van for my vending business.
Uh-huh.
Went and filled up a vending machine. Okay, check this out.
Where are we at here? Is that Riverdale Road?
No, this is up
no.
north. This is
Okay.
up north. And I was just driving home. Stopped to get some gas, so I'm getting back on the freeway here. Want to make sure there's volume, though.
I don't hear anything. Should I?
Yeah, we should
More
be.
tips,
There we
head
go.
to npr.org/.
So I'm just listening to the radio.
NPR.
Keep an eye on this guy's trailer right here.
Okay.
Keep an eye.
Really bouncy.
Bouncy trailer.
Worried about it.
Here it comes.
Support for KUER comes from
It's
Watch the trailer.
Extra Life, a locally owned camera
Bam!
Oh
my
gosh! 30 years.
Holy
fuck! And education for photographers at
You want to see it again?
I do.
Okay, here we go.
This is
You literally jumped.
Support
Well, I
for
could see it
KUER
coming,
comes
but I
from
wasn't expecting it to break your
Extra Life,
windshield.
A locally owned camera station in downtown
Oh my gosh!
30 years.
Holy
And education for
I can tell that there's like relief in your voice because you're not dead.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first said, "Oh my gosh," I thought that I might have been really hurt
Uh-huh.
because the rear view mirror shot off and hit me in the shoulder.
Oh, really?
So I thought that something came through, and
Oh.
I saw it. I saw it come off of his trailer, and I was
Right.
like, "What am I gonna do?"
Right.
It's just snow.
Yeah, I've been hit by stuff like that
Dude.
before. I've never.
Completely shattered.
You got his license plate number. You should.
I know he stopped.
Oh, did he?
I pulled up next to him and tried to hand signal that ice came off, and he just pulled over and he's like, "What, are my lights out?" I'm like, "No, dude, big chunk of snow came off. Look at my windshield." And then I got his insurance. I text him though. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
I text him, said, "Hey, if you'd rather, just pay my deductible for the windshield. It's like $100,
Uh-huh.
and then I won't report your insurance and screw you. You know what I mean?" Like,
Right.
And he said, "Okay," but he has yet to pay me.
Yeah, he won't probably.
So I have his. I mean, I have his insurance.
He's
so.
a contractor. He's like a freaking.
He seemed nice on the road,
Yeah, they all seem nice on the road.
but he I mean, I have his insurance information though, because I got his license plate, and then eventually I got him to pull over. So that's a pretty funny video. Huh?
Yeah.
But here's the crazy thing though.
You know what? We didn't even describe what happened here, did we?
Okay,
You're getting on the road here, and a giant solid chunk of ice smashes your windshield,
Right.
breaks it, which that doesn't normally happen.
Right. And if I might be able to find a picture of after the fact here. Let's see. I know I sent it to Danny.
How much is it going to cost to replace the windshield?
It was $100 deductible. I already got it fixed.
Oh, nice. Because
Yeah.
mine was like $400.
Yeah. Well, it depends on your insurance.
Yeah, I might need to switch insurance.
Let's see here.
What? Oh, wow.
Let me
That's even
flip
worse
this
than
over. Get rid of this guy. So yeah, that's the inside of the windshield. See, the mirror was right there. It hit me in the shoulder. Here's the crazy thing. I was just leaving the vending machine, right? Just stocked it. And my dash cam beeped at me. I just barely put it on 2 days before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've had it sitting in my other car. So it beeped at me, said, "Hey, memory's full." So I pulled over and erased the memory, and it just started on my way. Stopped to get some gas, was getting on the freeway, and then that happened. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
Except for if you wouldn't have changed the memory, then you wouldn't have been behind that guy, and that wouldn't have happened. So really,
or if I did,
because you pulled over and
this-
changed the memory, that sent something into
This is
motion.
butterfly effect
Yeah.
shit or sliding doors. You
Yeah.
ever see that movie?
No.
No, I've thought about that. I already thought about. I didn't think about stopping. I thought about if I hadn't stopped to get gas, I wouldn't have been behind him.
Yeah, but
you know?
the
But I never would have thought.
it's a catch-22. You know, do you want the video footage more than you wanted the?
I did want the video. I think it was,
Basically, you paid $100 for that video.
well, this guy's gonna pay me one way or another. Either I'm gonna call my insurance company and say,
or we're gonna go take it out of his side.
yeah. But it's definitely worth the footage. I never thought that a sheet of snow, it must have just hit.
I don't think it
perfectly.
was snow. It must have. You know what happened
It's
is
iceage.
It probably he didn't wipe off the top, and it froze, and then it refroze, and then it melted, and it's actually a solid
Right.
chunk of ice that came off.
But it must have hit flat. You know, like look how much of the windshield's broken.
Yeah,
you know?
that is pretty crazy. I've
Look
never.
at- What
heard-
if it came in perpendicular? Would you think it would have stabbed through me? You know.
I don't
Here's the
think
deal
so.
too. You could feel right here, like you could feel it on the inside of the windshield, which normally doesn't happen. You usually can't feel it on the inside. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it did. So because the glass is it's supposed to be shatterproof. It's supposed to
It's
just
tempered, right?
supposed to just collapse in, and that's what it started doing. So
Right.
that's a pretty hard hit.
Dude, it's a hilarious video, man. I sent it to him, and he's like, "I'm just glad you're okay." So we've been texting back and forth, and I did just text him now, like, "Hey, haven't seen any money in my Venmo.
You
Did
guys like
send it?"
BFFs now, or
No, because he's not paid me yet.
but
So,
after that,
I don't know.
maybe.
We're gonna have a beef.
Well,
though.
speaking of BFFs, Rush Limbaugh died,
Ugh.
and
You need to play some happy music.
well, yeah. I mean, so I do have memories of riding in the car with my dad listening to Rush Limbaugh.
Do
so-
you?
But he was a bad dude, especially near the end.
No, it was pretty much the
Well,
whole time.
yeah. I mean, I think
He has some
I
quotes
would
from the
say
70s that are
that
pretty.
he was more dangerous as of late.
Sure.
And I will say that when I found out he died, it was kind of the same emotion as when I found out that Osama had been shot. Is that
No.
weird?
No. I don't. I've always had a problem with the deification of the dead.
Uh-huh.
You know, the never speak ill of the dead. I've never understood that, except for the fact they can't stand up for themselves, I guess. But sometimes people die, and all of a sudden they become a saint to
Right.
the people whose lives they were in, and it's like, wait, well, let's not
I know.
let's not ruin the truth here. Like,
Hannity was like, none of us would be here if it weren't for Rush Limbaugh. Like,
that's a really good
No.
reason to celebrate his
yeah,
death. then.
yeah, like, oh.
No,
so
he-
it's all his fault.
He was not a good person.
No.
He was incredibly divisive. He was racist. He was sexist. He was very mean. He made fun of people who died of AIDS. He read their names on the air.
Do you think it was just a crazy character of his?
I've wondered that about Hannity, and I know that about Tucker because they testified to it in court.
Wow. But the reason I ask is because I've been watching through Family Guy recently, and he is actually in one full episode. It revolves around him. Actually him, not someone. He's in it, and then he's in the Star Wars one, and another one, I think.
Well,
and
he probably loves the celebrity.
I know, but like the jokes that he was making would lead me to believe that maybe this is a character that he kind of plays, like a bad version of Colbert.
Sure. No, it wouldn't surprise me. It reminds me of V for Vendetta, the dude who did that. I think these guys sometimes play characters, but it doesn't matter. It's just as dangerous.
Yeah,
Trump is a character.
I'll say.
You know what I mean? So,
well, I think Trump is stupid, though. I don't know that Rush Limbaugh was that stupid.
No,
he just said, dumb things.
He said really wrong, rude, mean, egregious, racist, sexist things. He was not a good person.
Speaking of rude and egregious and terrible
Wait a
things.
second. Wait a second. Let me just go back.
I had a good transition. Go ahead.
No, you can go. But I want to say something about if this was a character. He had cancer for the last year.
Yeah, he could have stopped.
He could have come clean.
Like, hey, guys, I'm actually
I'm glad
actually a huge donor to the Democratic Party.
I'm glad you appreciated my character I've played for the last 40 years. Anyway.
That's how he gets into heaven.
Right. No, Rush is burning in hell.
Anyway, speaking of sex scandals and dirtiness, this is going to be a pretty lengthy transition here. Robert Kraft, who owned the Patriots, and Tom Brady used to be on the Patriots. But anyway, Tom Brady recently won the Super Bowl.
He did, yeah.
And he won it for the 7th time.
Yeah.
Which is the most any player, I believe, has ever won
I think
a
so.
Super Bowl. Definitely any quarterback.
Yeah.
And that just got me to thinking, what the hell? Because statistically, he is not the best quarterback. I mean, he's good. He's definitely great. But but I don't know that quarterbacking is what makes him so great. And
I think he's a good team leader.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. But I got to thinking, have you ever been, like, what is something that you are so confident about that, you know it's going to happen? Like, it's beyond confidence.
Like using The Secret. You remember The Secret? Where you send things out into the universe and they're going to happen? You're asking me?
Yeah, like, is it, like the sun rising?
I mean, I know that at some point we'll have 10 billion listeners.
Well, yeah.
Well, super confident about
that. But that's
that.
the thing, right? Is I think that Tom Brady has so much confidence that it's like a stupid level of confidence to the point where he's so confident and he just knows. It's like he knows he's going to win the Super Bowl. And it's the same as knowing the sun's going to rise.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell him otherwise. It's not like, because, a lot of us have confidence. I have confidence that I'm going to wake up tomorrow, but then you think in the back of your head, like, I might not.
I think.
But he just knows.
Yeah. I think we could describe a lot of people that way.
Yeah? They just will it to happen?
Yeah. Michael Jordan. So let's go down sports lists.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. Roger Federer, Gretzky, like these people who just knew.
Right.
And they almost come across as nonchalant about it.
Well,
behind the scenes, they're working their ass off.
Right.
Right. But they make it just Tiger Woods.
But,
I
mean, I think, like, the difference is, well, not necessarily between, but maybe the great people, the great athletes. You hear a quarterback and they're like, we are definitely going to win. But in your mind, you're thinking, does he really believe that?
Right.
Like, does he full-heartedly? Is there any place in his mind where he thinks that they could lose? I don't think Tom Brady literally doesn't have that. Like, it's just not there. He just knows.
Yeah. And like I said, I think there are a lot of people like that. And you can usually tell by the devastation when they do.
That's true.
You know?
Tom gets pretty upset
Yeah,
when he loses.
I remember when Roger Federer. I'm not a giant tennis fan. I'm a giant Roger Federer fan. I've tried to watch tennis lately. You know, congrats to Novak Djokovic. He just won the Australian Open.
Yeah.
but
Speaking of which, I got notifications from CNN at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
about this, and I'm like,
that Novak won.
"Are you serious? Are you serious?" Like, what?
But I remember, speaking of Novak, he was the person to first dethrone Roger. Roger was on a win streak that had never been seen before, right? And in fact, Djokovic just beat one of Roger's records of most weeks at number 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I remember the first time Roger lost a major that he had won continuously was the Australian Open, and he lost it to Djokovic. And he was devastated. He was crying. He was bawling. You know what I mean? The crowd was like, this is so hard. I don't even know what to say. You know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah.
As he got older, he definitely became more wise to the fact that he might lose. And then he became all of a sudden, and not that he wasn't gracious in that moment, but he became this super gracious loser. You know, I remember when he had won Wimbledon 5 times in a row, and he lost the 6th. And he was still so gracious, so smiling. But it was all those matches before when he was younger that he clearly just knew, like, no one's going to beat me.
That's so weird, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine how. I realized, so I'm not a competitive person at all. And I realized that probably one of the biggest reasons I'm not competitive is because throughout my life, I've conditioned myself to lose. No, I'm serious.
It's
So,
imposter
like,
syndrome.
I just naturally expect to lose. I naturally expect things to go wrong for me. And as a result, things seem to go wrong for me.
Yes.
And
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I can't imagine having that kind of confidence. You know, the kind of confidence to just walk up to anyone and be like, "Hey, so are we gonna get married?" or
Right.
and just know that you know, or
I mean,
or whatever.
There's something to be said about the defense mechanism of expecting the worst.
Right.
But there's also something to be said of expecting the worst becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
I think that every great sports or great athlete will tell you it's about short-term memory.
Mm-hmm.
You forget the losses very quickly. You know, you don't. Tiger will forget that bad putt on the last hole.
Will he
and-
forget the steel rod in his leg?
Dude. Oh man, it sucks. It sucks. But yeah, there's certainly something to be said for a controlled amount of confidence and arrogance. This Barack Obama was like that. You know what I mean? He just had this vibe that he knows he's gonna win.
Well,
You know?
I think most people did.
Yeah, but I mean it like we're coming out of W, like, yeah, he had bad approval, and we had a war, but
with 9/11 and
yeah,
housing crisis.
but it's not like he had a poor candidate that he was running against. You know, John Kerry, like,
Oh yeah, I don't know.
or
John
not,
Down.
sorry, not John Kerry.
Bob Dole.
No. We're talking about Barack Obama's first term.
Yeah.
It's John McCain.
Yeah. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, this is John McCain. It wasn't like that's a powerful man.
Yeah.
You know, so but he had that confidence that you're talking about. Just like, well, I'm not gonna lose.
I can't imagine because even when I say and even mean something that I'm confident about, there's still a voice in the back of my head
Right.
that's like, maybe not.
And I'm not saying it's really that admirable of a trait.
It may not be.
You know, I don't necessarily think it's that great of a trait. And you compare him to other great people. You compare him to Lincoln, who lost over and over and over again, right? And he still wanted to serve. He still thought that he would be good at it.
Right.
You know? So,
So who's to be more admired, the person that has stupid levels of confidence, or the person that keeps trying no matter how many times they get knocked down?
that's an easy question. It's the person who keeps trying.
Right.
Absolutely. 100%. You know?
Hmm.
That's something to be said about Tiger.
Right.
Speaking of, coming back from that crazy sex scandal, crazy, and becoming the best again, 5 back surgeries.
And then having, a fit of rage and rolling your car off a mountain.
Yeah, who knows what really happened there?
They're all saying that there's no substances, and I'm just like, God.
Did they say that?
Yeah, they've already said that it was he was
They
just
did a talk screen.
distracted or something, and I'm just like, I don't believe
I actually saw a TikTok of a woman who lived there. She uses that road every day.
it.
And there's a break in the island
Mm-hmm.
in the center median that for people to turn left, and she thinks that somebody hit him and just drove off, and it kind of spun him out. But who knows? We'll see.
It was his ex-wife.
It was
Just coming back for revenge.
What if it was like a sliced golf ball from a nearby golf course?
Whoa!
It just would have been
It's too ironic.
Anyway, that's all I have.
All right, well, I guess that's it, man. Good episode.
It's good to be
episode
back.
all around. High five. Where the heck is my intro
I
music?
actually had Jake Vockler text me. He's like, "Where are you guys? Where did you guys go?
Really?
You disappeared." So
Well, it has been like a month.
and the
I
plays
mean,
reflect it. People were going back and listening to old episodes.
Really?
Yeah. So we're
people,
back.
People are listening.
Yeah, they are, and we need more. Please tell your friends. Like, is it that much to ask?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not that much to ask
And
to
listen
tell people.
to Rejected Takeoff too. Our numbers on that are
Like,
exceptionally low.
we already know that if your favorite, if not one of your favorite podcasts, why would you not tell your friends?
Maybe they don't want to be associated with us.
That could be.
They're like, I like them, but I don't want to endorse fat people.
Well, then just just write the podcast name down on a piece of paper and just leave it on tables randomly. Just anything. Come on. I'm
We could
sorry.
do that.
I'm not trying to
We
be.
could do that.
I'm not coming down on you.
No, it's fine.
I'm not
It's
going down on you.
one or the other.
Anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. It's the Our Take Podcast, episode 107. I'm Brian.
I'm tired. See you next time.